The last conference game between the Denver Cougars for this season comes here tonight at Larks Park. I'm Nick Helgett alongside Hank Corsair and Ace Newberger. Tonight's game, once again, a top team versus a bottom team. But last night's game did tell us a little bit about the Denver Cougars through those first 4 innings.
Yeah, they came out and their fielders did a great job right out of the gate. The Larks were able to put the ball in play, but they were able to show up in those first 3 innings. But once the Larks started to learn the pitching style of the Cougars, they were able to put up 5 runs in the 4th inning. And once they had that lead, they just never looked back.
And we made an observation. Actually, you made an observation last night. It seems that the Cougars right now are a bit short on players. Do we have anything on that?
All I can say is that I counted 12, or they had 9 guys on the field, and then I counted 3 guys in the dugout. So apparently they only brought 12 guys. Not sure if that's official or not, but that's what we saw.
It makes you wonder if, with the pitching style, if they're going to really push hard to have guys throw 90-plus pitches and such. So this will be an interesting one for the Denver Cougars. Right now, the Larks sitting at 20-6 overall, tied for first in the conference standings with the Liberal BJs. The BJs playing against the Dodge City A's tonight. Any takeaways before going into that game?
We saw in the Larks matchups against the A's that they can be a dangerous team, although they're one of the bottom teams as well, entering that game tonight with a record of 10-22 and 9-16 in the RMBL. But they've got some players that can compete, so we'll see if they match up well against Liberal.
Dodge City's a very weird team. They, like, on paper and stats and everything, they don't come off as a great team, but they do compete at a high level. So it's interesting to see the final 2 games of their season going against the Liberal BJs. But, I mean, the Larks, they have to win these conference games. Tomorrow is a non-conference game, and tonight is a conference game. What do the Larks need to do right tonight?
I think you just got to get your bats going early. We saw it in the 4th inning that once you start to get them going, it throws off the Denver pitching. And also for the Larks pitching, it'll be interesting to see how they approach this one. Keeban Goss is getting the start tonight, which will be his first official one of the year, as he's pitched in 5 games so far this year as a relief pitcher. So we'll see how they approach that one.
Excited to see Keeban on the mound tonight. Excited to see the Larks back into action here for the second game of the 3-game series against the Denver Cougars.
Anger is Contributions. At this time, we'd like to introduce to each of the Larks players along with their host families. The first player from Colorado Springs, Colorado and Hutchinson Community College, number 1, C.J. Reed. His host family is Riley and Tara Adams. From Montgomery, Texas and Lamar University, number 2, Trent Baker. His host family, Kent and Shonda Worth. From Melbourne, Australia and Arizona Western Community College, number 4, Felix Brunner. And his family, Doug and Pam Kreitzer. From Mustang, Oklahoma and Hutchinson Community College, number 6, Tabor Stokes. His host family is Scott and Audrey Lindenmeyer. From Sapulpa, Oklahoma and the University of Kansas, number 8, Caden Ashton. His host family is Brett and Melissa Johnson. From Panama and Arizona Western Community College, number 9, Ishmael Cordoba. His host family, Marty Scott. From Goodyear, Arizona and Wichita State University, number 12, Caleb Duncan. His host parent is Daryl Gregg. From the Netherlands and Fort Hays State University, number 14, Luke Terpeek. And from Joliet, Illinois and Pima Community College, number 20, Ray Jesse. Host families for Luke and Ray are Jerry and Judy Romey. From Harlingen, Texas and Incarnate Word University, number 15, Thomas Lissy. Host family is Deb and Gary Weatherby, unable to be with us tonight, escorted onto the field by Terry Carlene. From Groesbeck, Texas and the University of Texas at San Antonio, number 22, Garrett Gruel. Host family is Gary and Deb Weatherby, accompanied tonight by Terry Carlene. From Rio Rancho, New Mexico and Pima Community College, number 16, Seth Lee. Host family, Jermaine Taggart. And from Buckeye, Arizona and the University of Arizona, number 18, Garrett Hicks. Host family, Jermaine Taggart. From DeSoto, Texas and Navarro Community College, number 17, Adrian Nahar. Host parent is Jerry Murmis. From Yuma, Arizona and Arizona Western Community College, Number 19, Aiden Schmigdal. Host family, Jeff and Brandy Ridgway. From Edmond, Oklahoma, and the University of Central Oklahoma, number 21, Gage Gilchrist. And from Austell, Georgia, and Alabama State University, number 26, Wilbert Espinal. Host family for Gage and Wilbert are Mike and Val Carl. From Tucson, Arizona, and the University of New Mexico, number 24, Blake Lembeck. Host parent is Nikki Leglighter. From Gates Mills, Ohio, and Ohio State University, number 25, Will Carpenter. Host parents are Cody and Tara Graham. From Waterloo, Iowa, and Iowa Western Community College, number 28, Mac Ortner. Host family is Cale and Sarah Bloom. From Omaha, Nebraska, and Southeastern University, number 29, Logan LaPierre. Host family is Bryce and Shannon Custer. From Hockley, Texas, and Houston Christian University, number 30, Nolan Wilson. Host family is Brent and Christy Homeyer. From Liberty Hill, Texas, and Texas Tech University, number 32, Dalton Campbell. Host family, Joe and Sherry Hildebrand. Other host families we'd like to recognize tonight include Tony and Diana Staley, who had Brady Evans and Curtis Bryn. Both had left the season early due to injuries. Our thanks to Tony and Diana Staley. And assistant coach Andy Luton. His host family can't go far. His mother, Debbie Luton. From Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Purdue University, tonight's starting catcher, number 27, Houston Russell. Houston is hosted by Dion and Ashley Newberger. And from Rockwell, Texas, tonight's starting pitcher, number 31, Kevin Goss. Host parents are Nathan and Tori Flax. There you have them, Larks fans, the 2024 host families, the heart and soul of Larks baseball. Thank you for your dedication and your generosity in opening your home to these young men. At this time, we would like to ask all of the host families and players to please gather around the home plate area for a very special presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce the Larks starting lineups for tonight's game, we'd like to recognize a very special young man who is a 3-year veteran player for the Larks. Please join us as we honor Garrett Gruel. Garrett is from Groesbeck, Texas, has been with the Larks since the 2022 season. He attended Murray State College in Oklahoma before transferring to Texas A&M at Corpus Christi last season, where he batted third in the lineup for most of the season, hitting a team-leading 10 home runs with 31 RBI and a .222 batting average to go along with 20 multi-hit games and 8 multi-RBI performances. Throughout his 3 seasons with the Larks, Garrett has been a solid performer, playing 43 games with the Larks in 2023. He hit 11 home runs with a .356 batting average. His 59 RBI last season places him in a tie for 3rd place on the Larks' all-time list for most RBI in a single season. How about that? Garrett is currently tied for 9th place on the Larks all-time list with a .669 slugging percentage. So far this season, Garrett has played in 24 games, hitting 4 home runs with 30 RBI and a .425 batting average. Garrett will be playing for the NCAA Division I Roadrunners of the University of Texas at San Antonio this coming season. Garrett, on behalf of the Larks family and the entire Hayes Larks organization, we would like to thank you for your dedication, your leadership, and your hard work. Good luck to you in all your future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, number 22, Garrett Gruel.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! Join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Ladies and gentlemen, here for tonight's ceremonial first pitches, please welcome Presley Hancock representing Phase 2, Jayla Nivison representing Tommy's Car Wash, and Ella and Jack Schwant representing Commercial Builders. Our great thanks to Caleb Duncan for doing the honors, and our thanks to tonight's game sponsors, Phase 2, Big D's Rental, Commercial Builders Incorporated, and Tommy's Car Wash of Hayes.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Leading off and playing center field from Kansas University, number 8, Caden Ashton. Batting second from Wichita State University, the left fielder, number 12, Caleb Duncan. From Alabama State University, the right fielder, batting third from the Larks, number 26, Wilbert Espinal. Batting cleanup for the Larks from Ohio State University, playing first base, number 25, Will Carpenter. Batting fifth and catching from Purdue University, number 27, Houston Russell. Batting sixth, playing third base from the University of Incarnate Word, number 15, Thomas Wussey. Batting seventh, tonight's designated hitter from Lamar University, number 2, Trent Baker. Batting eighth, playing shortstop from Hutchinson Community College, number 6, Tabor Stokes. Batting ninth, tonight's 8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the second baseman from Hutchinson Community College, number 1, C.J. Reed. And tonight making the pitching start for the Larks from Wharton Community College, number 31, Kevin Goss. Please welcome the head coach for the Larks, now in his 42nd season, Mr. Frank Leo. Larks pitching coach is Keith Hyper. Assistant coaches are Andy Luton and Ben Tinius. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the Hayes High Plains Barbershop Chorus as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
ladies and gentlemen, the Hayes High Plains Barbershop Chorus and tonight's national anthem. Thank you, gentlemen.
It's amazing to be back at Larks Park here for some Saturday night baseball here on the Larks YouTube channel. As first pitch was supposed to start about 7:15 due to tonight's pregame ceremonies and stuff. Tonight is host family night at the ballpark. You guys just saw all the host families come onto the field and get recognized by the fans and the players. The players actually all gave the host family signed baseballs from them, so a way to honor them for letting them stay with them over the summer and be a part of Larks baseball. Kevin Goss to take the mound for the Larks tonight against the Denver Cougars. Top team versus the bottom team. Larks, once again, a must-win scenario here in conference play.
And it'll be an interesting start to watch because with Kevin Goss on the mound going up against the Cougars, which you pointed out last night is a majority right-handed batter line up against a left-handed pitcher. We'll see how he approaches this one, especially like we also said, he's more of a relief guy, as this will be his first official start of the year.
Yeah, well said. I mean, he is more of a relief guy, but he has started a couple of non-conference league games, and honestly, he did pretty solid in both those times, so we'll see what he can do tonight against the Denver Cougars. First pitch coming in here at 7:09 start time. First pitch temperature coming in at 81 degrees, a bit of a cloudy day, but no rain should be coming to the ballpark. Last night, we were just able to sneak through it, had a little sprinkles here and there, but we survived and got a full game of baseball in. 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing out towards right field. So we got a 3-0 count here to the leadoff batter for the Cougars in Ashton Wolf. The 3-0 pitch to Ashton will find the zone for Kevin Goss. A 3.85 ERA for Goss on the season. It's through 7 innings pitched, has 5 strikeouts on the year. His first start in conference play this year as this ball missed inside. First base runner of the game coming from Ashton Wolf here in the top of the first.
And this was the key for the top of the lineup for the Cougars last night. If we look back at it, a lot of those guys, in fact, none of them actually got a hit. And Ashton Wolf had 2 walks last night. And now with Eli Athenbus up, he had a walk as well, and so did Jackson Snitko, the third batter.
A big name that stood out to me last night was Carter Olek. He had himself a good day against the Larks. As the first pitch here to Eli Athenbus misses the zone. Houston Russell calling time to go talk things over with Kevin Goss. So we'll get you the defensive alignment for the Larks. Out in left field, Caleb Duncan. Center field, Caden Ashton. Wilbert Espinal out in right. The exact same outfield from game 1. Middle infield with Tabor Stokes at short. C.J. Reed slots into the lineup today at second base. Third baseman, hot corner in Thomas Lissy. And over at first in Will Carpenter. Catching tonight in Houston Russell. Garrett Gruhl was originally in the lineup, but was taken out last second. Had a bit of soreness in the back and didn't want to risk anything with the NBC coming up. So Will Carpenter will come in to the game and play over at first base. If you didn't see, Gruhl got honored as well as the host families tonight as he got himself a plaque for being a part of the Larks team for 3 years. Joins the third-year ball club. Goss finds the zone here to Eli Athenboss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner on first after the leadoff walk. This one swung on and missed. 1-2 the count as Kevin Goss looks to get the first out of the day. The 1-2 from Keevens fouled off the bat of Athenboss. Rocks rocking their blue uniforms tonight. The white sliding pants. Last night we had a white jersey battle. Tonight we got the blue versus the black. As the Cougars rocking their black uniforms with the white sliding pants. 1-2, another one fouled off. Staying alive is Eli Athenboss. Cougars were able to strike first yesterday in the second inning. First inning, they only had 3 batters come up, as this pitch will miss way outside. Evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The first batter yesterday, in Ashton Wolf, he flew out to center. Athenboss worked out the walk, and then Jackson Snicko grounded to a double play. So they faced off against Ismael Cordoba. So once again, a lefty starting for the Larks today as this finds his zone. First strikeout on the day for Kevin Goss in the first out of the ball game.
And once again, we're seeing pitchers starting to position it a little bit low, and that's where the zone's going to be tonight.
So I'll bring up Jackson Snicko. Snicko, who appeared in last night's game, as the lineup is very similar from yesterday's game. A few adjustments. Actually, I take that back. There are no adjustments from last night's lineup. The exact same for the Cougars, and Ashton Wolf to lead off. Eli Athenboss second, Jackson Snicko third. 4, 5, and 6 go Max Slavin, Zeke Minnick, and Carter Olick. 7, 8, 9, Aiden Linehan, Peter Tassler, and Dominic Guitze. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Snicko. Still a runner at first, and Ashton Wolf after leadoff walk. Goss struck out Athenboss, looking to record the first out of the day as this one misses outside. 2-1 the count. Two one swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. If Goss can get really locked in, he does a lot of great stuff. Excited to see what he can do as a starter tonight for his first conference start of the year. As this finds the zone, strike 3, back-to-back Ks, both looking for the left-handed arm and Kevin Goss. Cleanup batter Max Slavin now here with 2 away after back-to-back punch-outs for Kevin Goss.
Slavin went 1 for 4 in last night's game, and he had a single and a walk and was able to score a run as well.
First pitch just misses off the plate. Slavin gets ahead in the count against Goss. Back-to-back Ks for Goss puts him at 7 strikeouts on the season. So 1-0 will find it at the knees. First strike here against Max Slavin, the runner over at first. Larks entered tonight's ball game 20-6 in conference play, while the Denver Cougars 5-21, 6-24 overall for the Cougars, while the Larks are 25-8. Swung on and missed. 1-2 count coming up to Max Slavin. One-two, just misses the zone. Just a little bit too low to the cleanup batter and Max Slavin. So all evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 swung on and missed. What a start to the day for Kevin Goss. A leadoff walk, but then responds back with 3 strikeouts in a row as we head to the bottom of the first here in Game 2. Caden Ashton to lead things off here in the bottom of the first. 4 batters come up in the top half for the Cougars. A leadoff walk, but then Keevan Goss strikes out the next 3 batters to retire the side. As it brings us to the Hayes Larks, Caden Ashton to lead things off. We just got the Liberal BJ's game live stream pulled up, so we'll keep you guys updated throughout tonight's ball game. These games are very big. I mean, the Larks playing against the Denver Cougars at the bottom part of the conference, and the BJ's playing against the Dodge City A's who are at the bottom part of the conference. But you never know. And last night, watching the Denver Cougars, it did make me realize one thing is that they're not just going to give this game to the Larks.
Yeah, like I said, coming into it, they had nothing to lose, and they surely showed that because eliminated from NBC, last place in RMBL, they just had something to prove with this late in the season.
Ashton fouls this one back. First strike of the day. We believe the pitcher is Caleb Woltz. His last name is Woltz, but on the program, the roster, on the point streaks where all the stats are kept, he does not have any stats or anything on him. We believe his name is Caleb after doing some further research online. So if you're a Denver Cougars fan and watching tonight's stream, go ahead and comment down the live chat if that is his name, Caleb Woltz. We can tell you one thing for sure. His last name is Woltz. So he's down the count, 3-1 here to Caden Ashton. (3-1) up high, ball 4. Walk number 25 on the season for the center fielder and Caden Ashton. Both sides, the leadoff batter, work out a walk. Runner on base for the Larks. That brings up Caleb Duncan.
From Wichita State University, the left fielder, number 12, Caleb Duncan.
Ashton over at first here with no outs after the leadoff walk. 12 stolen bases. We'll see if he's on the move. His third baseman playing in. First pitch of Duncan misses up high. Caleb Dunn coming off a 1-for-4 ball game where he scored a run, worked down a walk, and stole a base. He's kind of hit in his last 3 games as this pitch will find the zone for the first strike against Caleb Duncan. This one runs up and in to Caleb, ducks out of the way. Bit of changes from last night's lineup to tonight's lineup for the Larks. Houston Russell had the day off yesterday. He slots back in the 5 spot. Will Carpenter being the clean-up batter coming in for Garrett Gruel. Thomas Lissy drops from 5 to 6. Not a big change there. And then Baker, who was pitching on the mound yesterday, he comes into the lineup as the DH. And then Gage Gilchrist gets the night off. C.J. Reed over at second base for tonight's game. Gage was not the second baseman yesterday. He was the first baseman. But the lineup, that's the big difference as this one swung on and missed. As Ashton was on the move to second, he'll steal second. And the strike 3 gets all the way to the backstop, so Caleb Duncan will reach first on strike 3, and Caden Ashton goes all the way to third. And they're going to rule Caleb Duncan out. So they'll rule Caleb Duncan out via strike 3. Ashton will remain at third base. So I'll bring up Wilbert Espinal here with a runner in scoring position.
And Espinal had a big game last night. He was able to pick up 2 base hits and reach 2 other times from an error and a fielder's choice, which would ultimately result in 2 runs and 3 RBIs.
Larks looking to strike first here against the Cougars in Game 2. Friday and Saturday, tonight's game that is for Saturday Night Baseball. Those two games are conference games. Sunday will be a non-conference game scheduled for 6 o'clock first pitch tomorrow. Next pitch, Espinal misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's got an RBI in his last 3 games in a row. Has a chance to get one here. This one swung on and missed at the high fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the right fielder, Wilbert Espinal. All of the outfielders for the night's game for the Larks are at the top of the lineup. Ashton center, Duncan left, and Espinal in right. 1-2 left upstairs. Good take from Espinal as he evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Espinal will more than likely reach triple digits for at-bats on the season as he'll foul this one off. 96 at-bats coming into tonight's game. 4 more and he'll have 100 on the season and be the first Lark to 100 for this year. And when you are the starter almost every day, that helps out in leading the at-bat category. 2-2 runs down low. Catcher gets behind him, but is able to corral in and prevent Ashton from scoring. Larks have a runner 90 feet away. Full count pitch coming up here to Wilbert Espinal. "20 RBIs on the season. Got 3 last night, but you'll not get one here as that'll be ball 4. Full count walk to Wilbert Espinal as they'll put runners at the corners here with 1 out. Already a mound visit. Mark Sorello will head out to the mound to talk things over with Caleb Woltz. As Will Carpenter and a cleanup batter will be up next as we'll take a quick break here on the Larks Network. First mound visit on the day for Caleb Woltz, coming from the head coach of the Denver Cougars and Mark Cirillo. First pitch coming up here to Will Carper. On the move to second is Espinal, but this one's fouled back. So Espinal head back to first as Carper fouls one off. Home plate umpire for tonight, Randy Jordan. Field umpire Kyle Hudson. A big shout out to the Lissy family. Thank you so much for what you put down in the live chat. I really do appreciate it. That means a lot. As this next pitch misses outside to Will. 1 ball and 1 strike here to tonight's first baseman. '24th start on the year for the Ohio State man and Will Carpenter. This one, breaking ball, swung on and missed. We have the BJs and Dodge A's game pulled up at the moment. They're currently in the bottom of the first with 2 away. BJs have a runner over at third. We will be keeping you guys updated all throughout tonight's ball game. Very important games. This next pitch runs inside to Will, leaves that one off the plate.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if the Larks win tonight and Dodge wins tonight, do the Larks win the title?
They would still, I believe so actually, yes, because the BJs, as we'll get back to that fly ball out to left field. Ashton prepared to tag. Left fielder makes the catch. Ashton tagging. The throw in, cut off by a third baseman, and Ashton will score with ease. Sack fly, RBI for Will Carpenter, and the Larks strike first. Ashton scores for his 26th time this season, and Will Carpenter drives in his 8th RBI. So Larks take an early 1-0 lead. And on top of the Larks taking a 1-0 lead, the BJs just took a 1-0 lead as both sides just got a RBI base hit. Can't make that up. But yes, if the A's were to beat the BJs tonight and the Larks pull away with the victory, technically, yes, they would win it. As if the Larks, say, were to lose Monday and the BJs would win, so they would both be tied again, the Larks would still win since they won the series 3-1. Second pitch to Houston Russell. Misses the zone. They'll ask for an appeal. And they're actually going to call time. Home plate umpire Randy Jordan, field umpire Kyle Hudson are going to talk things over. Happen to catch what they might be talking about.
It's a little bit tough to say because for where Kyle Hudson's position was, I think that they asked for an appeal, but from Kyle Hudson's position, that's just a tough call to make.
Yeah, that's why you see at the professional level and the college level, they usually have about 3 umpires. One will always stay on the base path to make sure the check swing and everything, and the other one will move into the field throughout the game. So next pitch, Houston Russell misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. BJ's got another run on the board. They're up 2-0 at the Dodge City A's already. This one hit down to the third base side, but foul. 2-2 count coming up here to Houston Russell. Larks scored a run, haven't recorded a base hit. They've gotten on with 2 walks here in the first. Ashton able to run his way around the bases and come around to score the first run of the ball game. 2-2 left up high. Good take from Houston as he works the count to full. Espinal will be on the move here with 2 outs in the full count pitch. Left up high, ball 4. Espinal, who's on the move, will slow down and take over at second. And Russell works out the full count walk. Still 2 outs. Runners now at first and second for Thomas Lissy. That was Houston Russell's 10th walk on the season. Thomas Lissy looks to drive home Espinal, who's in scoring position over at second base.
And Lissy was able to record a single last night and so far this season.
And he might have more than just a single tonight as that ball was down the right field line. 1 run will score. That's going to be an RBI double for Thomas Lissy. The Larks put 2 on the board here in the bottom of the first and take an early lead. Espinal comes around to score. Houston Russell to third after the RBI double from Thomas Lissy. Trent Baker, tonight's DH, is up next. Now with 2 runners in scoring position with still 2 outs.
And he did make an appearance in last night's game. He was the final pitcher of the game and went 2 innings and was recorded 4 strikeouts on 54 pitches last night.
Being a two-way player, a very difficult thing, and we're starting to see it become more common at the college level. I believe your Kansas City Royals actually drafted a first-round pick for, I forget his name, but he was a first baseman and pitcher, am I right?
Yeah, from Florida. I'm trying to think of his first name. It starts with an R, but...
As this one will go to the backstop, another run will come around to score. This time, Houston Russell make it 3-0 Hayes Larks.
And we've seen this a lot this season with the Larks. Just be patient and let your opponent make the mistakes as the Larks have gotten their bats going. We've seen a few stolen bases and wild pitches so far, and now they're up to a 3-0 lead in the first inning.
1-1 to Baker, slapped out to right field. Right fielder taking him back a bit. This ball carrying, it's going to get down right off the wall. That's going to be a base hit. Baker with the Jets. The throw in to the cutoff man. No throw to third. RBI triple. The Larks now lead it 4-0. The Larks have exploded with 2 outs.
And the right fielder is playing a little bit further over. Great position there by Trent Baker. Almost looked like almost went foul. Just put it right in there near the 319 part of the outfield sign. And the Larks now have their 4th run of the game.
So still 2 outs with a runner at third, this time for Tabor Stokes. That was Trent Baker's 2nd triple on the season. His 7th extra base hit on the year as well. First pitch was a strike. Second pitch also a strike here to Tabor Stokes. A 5 RBI performance in last night's game. See if he can get another one here in this series against the Cougars. The The 0-2 pitch from Woltz bounces over the catcher's head into the backstop. Baker will score with ease. Another one for the Larks. 5-0. So the Larks, like you said, are taking advantage of just little errors. One-two pitch coming up with nobody on base now here to Tabor Stokes. Larks put on 5 runs here in the bottom of the first. 3 of those runs coming around a score with 2 outs. Next one swung on and missed, strike 3. We almost had everyone come up to bat in the lineup, but we'll head to the second inning. Larks lead this one by 5. Larks pulled away with a 9-4 victory against the Denver Cougars in Game 1 in yesterday's Friday Night Baseball. As here we are, Saturday Night Baseball, as Kevin Goss back to the mound, face off against a DH in Zeke Minnick.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Cougars approach the rest of this game, because last night they jumped out with the first lead, but now after the first inning you're down by 5. We'll see what they do here.
Larks only had 2 base hits in that inning. 3 walks for the Larks really helped them out. Everyone who reached base would end up coming around to score. It's 2-0 pitch from Kevin Goss as Zeke Minnick misses finds the zone. As Goss gets a first strike here against Zeke Minnick. BJs are currently up against the Athletics 2-0 heading into the bottom of the second. Next pitch foul back. Oh, that almost got the camera. Actually, it's a bit higher, so it was just hit a bit lower. But the camera's still good. So we're all even up now. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Zeke Minnick. 2 singles last night. This one will hit him. So he'll head down to first. A similar start here to the second inning. So in the first inning, we saw the Cougars get the leadoff guy on, but then Goss was able to strike out the next 3 batters. So we'll see what we can do here against Carter Olick coming off a big game from last night.
Yeah, 3 base hits in last night's game and was able to pick up a run and an RBI, so 3 for 5 in last night's game.
First pitch, Olick takes a hack at it, but swings and misses. Goss gets ahead in the count. Next pitch runs down low. Take a look at Kevin Goss's last outing on the mound was on July 12th against the Fort Collins Foxes here at home. When an inning and 2/3 innings pitched, didn't allow any earned runs, allowed 1 base hit, 1 walk and struck out 3 batters. This one fouled back. Goss gets ahead in the count 1-2 here against Carter Olick. Last 3 outings at home for Goss, has only allowed 1 earned run in his last 3 outings at home. Since the next pitch misses the zone. 2-2 count. Runner over at first after the hit by pitch to Zeke Minnick. 2-2, put into play, a pop-up. Sneaks out of the infield over near the foul territory in the grass. C.J. Reed comes out of nowhere. Steals it from both Will Carpenter and Wilbert Espinal for the first out.
It was a good heads-up play there by Reed. I think Carpenter actually lost it for a second. You saw him go that way and then drift back a little bit, and C.J. Reed was right there to make the play.
So the first out in the second, it was recorded from C.J. Reed. So that brings us to the third baseman and Aiden Linehan. First pitch swung on and just hit out of play. As we said back in the first, the Cougars lineup is the exact same from yesterday. The only difference is they have a different starter on the mound. Last night, Keik Wildcat starter for the Cougars. Did a solid job until the 4th inning where the Larks exploded for 5 runs. Really helped them carry themselves away with the victory.
Yeah, like we said, he had an awkward pitching style, but in that 4th inning, the Larks started to understand it a little more, and once they got comfortable, they were patient and able to make the plays when it was there.
The 0-2 missed inside. 1-2 count between Keevan Goss and Aiden Linehan. Pops this one up, but this one will sneak out of play. This ball hit right back to Goss. CJ will take it, step on the bag at 2, and over to first. Trying to dig it out was Will Carpenter and just pops out of the glove. Almost got the double play to end the second. But they'll get Minnick out over at second base, and Linehan will take over at first. Two outs now. First pitch to Peter Tassler. Swung on and missed. Runner over at first now and Aiden Linehan. Pick-off throw to first. Back in time safely is Linehan. Peter Tassler, the batter. Also the catcher tonight for the Cougars. Catching back-to-back games. The 0-1, beautiful pitch, cut right back over the heart of the plate last second. Goss gets ahead 0-2. Keevan's been getting ahead in the count early tonight. Let's see if he can win the battle. 0-2 pitch coming up. Tassler leaves this one down in the turf for the first ball. One, two. Pop up. Stays in the infield. Tabor and CJ trying to battle, but CJ will take over it and make the catch for the final out. 4 batters come up once again for Keevan Goss, but he sits them down as we head to the bottom of the second. Larks lead at 5-0. Larks nearly batted around as the 9-hole batter, and C.J. Reed will lead things off, and he's been a hot batter recently. 4-game hitting streak, 7 hits, and 4 RBIs over his last 4 games. Back to the mound for the Cougars and Caleb Woltz. Second pitch, C.J. fouled backwards. Camera just snuck away. That'll be the first strike here to CJ. 1-1 count coming up. Larks able to score 5 runs in the first. Cougars are able to get a runner on base in both the first and second, but Kevin Goss only had to face 4 batters in both innings to allow no earned runs through his first 2 innings pitched tonight. Two-one to CJ, hit opposite field, but out of play. Host family night tonight at the ballpark. If you didn't tune in for our pregame show, we had a big old ceremony for all the families that have been housing the Larks players this year. A very nice thing they do every season to honor the families that take care of the Larks throughout the year. And on top of that, Garrett Gruhl was given a 3rd-year club plaque to honor him for spending 3 years with the ball club. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he can come back for a 4th year, but usually seniors don't come back. So we'll see what the future has in store for Garrett Gruhl, as that will be a leadoff walk here to C.J. Reed to get things going here in the second.
And I want to add on real fast to the host family night. It's really awesome for this for Hayes being a baseball community to see all the families going around from 1st, 2nd to 3rd. Just shows how important baseball is to the community.
Yeah, it really is a wonderful thing. I mean, Hayes is a baseball town. It's been growing and growing every year, and you just love to see it as pickoff throw just back in time safely as CJ. NBC is just around the corner, and Larks fans have already been talking around the town about the upcoming World Series. How far can the Larks go? Can they win it? I mean, talks have already been looming around town as another pickoff throw and back in time safely as CJ. This year at the NBC, they'll be honoring current 3rd baseman for the Texas Rangers and Josh Young. He was the NBC Alumni of the Year award winner. Josh Young, who actually played for Santa Barbara as part of the NBC, played back in 2017. And I was actually doing a bit more research, found out that Paul Goldschmidt used to play in the NBC and actually appeared down at X Stadium. A few other big names, too. Let's see if I can pull up the link real quick. Ian Kinsler, Ryan Helsley, pitches for the St. Louis Cardinals. This ball hits the opposite field. Base knock for Caden Ashton. A leadoff walk to C.J. Reed and a base knock from the center fielder for the Larks. Reaches base in both plate appearances. So that will bring up Caleb Duncan here with no outs. A big thing about those guys I just named, it goes to show you that playing summer ball is a good thing. A lot of people think it's a risk, but really, it's a good way to take a next step forward, and we've seen lots of MLB players come through the system. Satchel Paige used to pitch in the NBC. I mean, it's a nice thing they got. going as this bunt will just go foul for Caleb Duncan. A few years ago, the Larks also had a scout from the Tampa Bay Rays come and scouted one of the Larks players, ended up signing with them just after the NBC. I forget his name off the top of my head, but Keith Harper was telling me about it the other day. Third baseman and first baseman playing in. Duncan shows bunt again, pops this one up, and goes back. Oh, 2 count coming up here to Caleb Duncan.
We'll see if he can fight back and get on this time. He was faced with a 2-2 count his last at-bat, and they say he struck out, and he would have got on, but Ashton was still occupying first base, although he still made a steal attempt.
Duncan will leave this one downstairs. First ball against the left fielder, Caleb Duncan. Caleb Woltz looking to just get 3 outs and send us to the third. The Larks get runners on base early on once again. Woltz looking back to runner at second. Second baseman at the box holding him on. This next pitch slider that clips Caleb Duncan. That hit by pitch will load the bases for the Larks. Bases loaded for the third batter in Wilbert Espinal.
And this is the last guy you'd want to face if you're Denver's pitching. Wilbert Espinal, second on the team in average this year at 385, and has picked up 20 RBIs this year as well, with 2 guys in scoring position now.
Espinal reminds me a lot of Garrett Gruhl from last year. Gruhl was quietly one of the best bats on the team. Espinal has quietly been the best bat on the team this year as a fly ball hit out to deep left field. Stays in the ballpark in front of the warning track. Tagging is the runner, and C.J. Reed will come around to score. The throw goes to third, not in time. All runners tag up on the sac fly RBI for Wilbert Espinal. Espinal does the job. Larks now lead it 6-0. So I'll bring up the first baseman, Will Carpenter, here with 1 out now. 2 runners in scoring position.
We'll see what Carpenter can do this time around. Had the sac fly to another sac fly to left field for the Larks in tonight's game, and he got on all 4 times last night with 2 walks and 2 singles.
It's pretty funny. A fun stat I looked at before going on that 2-week road trip during the end of June. As ground ball hits the first baseman, Snicko looks back, the runner at third, steps on the bag at 1. Duncan was on his way to third. He hustles back to second and gets back in time. Good play by Jackson Snicko to look the runners back, is now 2 away here in the bottom of the second. I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
An interesting stat that you found.
Yes, interesting stat. The sac fly before going into the road trip, Larks only had 2 sac flies on the year, and then they came out of the road trip with 9. Got 7 sac fly RBIs during the road trip, and ever since then, it's just been going up almost every game. Houston Russell now to bat. Here with 2 away, still 2 runners on at second and third. Taking his time is Woltz as the 1-0 finally comes in and just misses outside. Good take for Houston. Gets ahead 2-0. Worked out a walk in his first plate appearance. Later came around to score. Misses up high. Woltz on the verge of loading the bases again for the Larks. Once again here in the second inning. Will clip the inside corner. First strike to Houston Russell. Caden Ashton over at third. Caleb Duncan at second. 1 run has scored here in the bottom of the second. Larks lead it by 6. 3-1. Hit to the left side. Third baseman will only have one play at first. The throw over gets past the first baseman. Ashton already scored. Duncan's going to test it. And Duncan will come around to score with ease. 2 runs score off of the E5. As the Larks now lead it by 8. Eight to nothing, and we're only in the bottom of the second. As they'll bring up Thomas Lissy. Had a big RBI double in his last at bat. Has a chance to do the same thing here with 2 away. First pitch of Thomas, left downstairs. Ashton and Duncan both came around to score off of the E5. Houston Russell now standing at second base. Let's see, hit very similar to his last at bat down the right field line, but this one goes foul. 1-1 to Thomas, misses down and in once again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Came around to score his last time on the bases. That was his 20th time scoring this year. This ball hit to right center field. That's down for a base hit. Another RBI base hit for Thomas Lissy. He's got 2 on the day. The Larks have tacked on 4 runs here in the bottom of the second.
And there he was able to take advantage of that gap between the center fielder and the right fielder. Center fielder was playing a little bit further back and closer to left field. And now he's got his second RBI of the night.
Thomas is seeing the ball well as they'll bring up Trent Baker at an RBI triple just an inning ago. First pitch, Trent, very similar to his last one. Hit out to right field. This ball carrying. This ball has a chance, and he goes off the wall. Stays the ballpark. It gets away from the right fielder as Lissy will score. As a throw in from right field, not a bad throw, but back-to-back RBI triples for Trent Baker and back-to-back at-bats. Are you kidding me? The Larks are going off tonight, and Trent Baker just got his second triple in as many at-bats.
And this is the exact opposite of what we saw last night. Denver was able to keep it close, but tonight things are just kind of going off the rails now that the Larks have just dominated through the first 2 innings.
It's already 10-0, and Mark Cirillo's heading to the mound, and that will be the end of the day for Caleb Woltz. We'll take a break here on the Larks Network. Larks lead it by 10. New pitcher into the ball game. Stokes takes this one to right field, but racing it down in the alleyway is the right fielder Max Slavin for the final out, as our music was still playing. But there we go. That will end the second inning. Larks score 5 once again, this time at the bottom of the second. Kevin Goss back to the mound here in the top of the third. Larks tack on 5 runs in the bottom of the first and then 5 runs in the bottom of the second. So they lead this one 10-0. Dominic Goodsey to lead things off, the 9-hole batter for the Cougars. Goss with a comfortable 10-0 lead after the Larks bats just get things going early on today. Second pitch from Goss to Goodsey will find the lower part of the zone. Lights already on here at the ballpark. Getting close to the 1 hour mark in this one. Another packed house here at Larks Park. Fly ball out to center field. Caden Ashton moves out towards right just a bit and gets under it for the first out. One away, and it brings us back to the top of the order for the first time today for the Cougars and Ashton Wolf.
And he walked on a 3-1 count on his first at bat, but would be stranded there after 3 straight strikeouts. And with Goosty's fly out to center field, he's the first leadoff batter for the Cougars tonight to not get on.
First pitch to Wolf, fouled back near the camera, but we're all good up here. We take a look at Kevin Goss. Every outing, it feels like he's just getting better and better. In his last 4 appearances on the mound, has only given up 1 earned run. So he'll send a fly ball out to center field. Caden Ashton once again making the play for back-to-back outs. Second batter in the lineup, and the second baseman in Eli Athabas now to bat number 2 away.
And he'll look to rebound from his first appearance where he struck out looking on a 2-2 count after fouling it off 2 times before he struck out.
It was Kevin Goss's first strikeout victim on the day. Has 3 heading here into the top of the third. So this one fouled back, right at the camera area. As that's Ace is not happy.
That might be the closest I believe we've got at Larks Park to the camera getting hit this year.
Yeah, on the road, we actually got directly hit in the camera. It completely spun the camera around down in Liberal. And then not to mention, I don't think I told you, but down at the game, there were some kids that kept pulling on the net, and it kept messing it up. Told them they're going to make all the families back in Hayes upset. They didn't care. They kept doing it, but they finally stopped. We'll get that fixed for you guys during the inning break. It's 3-1 count here from Kevin Goss to Eli Athabas. 3-1 outside, ball 4. Cougars will get another runner on base. 3 innings in a row. They got a runner on, but haven't been able to do any damage. So bring up Jackson Snicko here with 2 away and a runner on first in Athenbos after the 2-out walk. First pitch misses outside. Snicko was Goss's second strikeout victim in the first inning. That was the inning where Goss had a leadoff walk and then struck out the next 3 batters he faced. 1-0, almost clips Snicko, goes to the backstop. Taking over at second now is Athenbos after the wild pitch. Russell will call time and talk things over with Kevin Goss. If you're Houston Russell, what would you be saying right now to Kevin Goss here with 2 outs?
I think you just got to tell him to keep doing what you've been doing through the first 2 innings. Trust your fielders. Just put it in a good spot, and whatever happens, happens. Because so far, Larks have been really solid so far. No errors. They've only gotten 4 guys on tonight, and they've been able to hold them.
I mean, the Larks have a comfortable lead, but even when they have a comfortable lead, they always play like it's a 1-run game. And it's fun to watch. Another one fouled back. It didn't fix the camera this time. Ace is not too happy. We'll see if we can get Ace on the mic tomorrow for tomorrow's non-conference game. Talk him through his season with the Larks. As the next pitch, fly ball hit out to right field. Espinal camping under it, finds it into his glove for the final out. Goss allows another runner on base, but once again, nothing comes from it as we head to the bottom of the third. Larks lead it 10-0. Thanks to Ace Newberg for getting those cameras fixed as we are all back into action now. C.J. Reed to lead things off in back-to-back innings.
We'll see how he does against this new pitcher after walking on a full count in his previous at-bat.
First pitch to Reed finds the zone. The new pitcher came into the ballgame for the Cougars in the bottom of the second, got the final out for the fly ball from Tabor Stokes. New guy in Evan Peterson, the right-handed arm for the Denver Cougars.
This is a player that's seen limited action this season for the Cougars. We'll note that Denver's a little bit behind on their point streak, but it has Peterson appearance in 1 game this year, only pitching 2 innings and giving up 4 hits, 7 runs, and recording 1 strikeout.
As Reed fouls this one off from Peterson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This ball hit off the inner part of the bat and just goes foul. C.J. Reed, who spent some time at Butler Community College, will be transferring to Hutchinson Community College alongside fellow Lark teammate and Butler teammate in Tabor Stokes. 1-2, misses outside. A great dynamic duo that the Hutchinson Community College men picked up. I mean, when they are running the middle infield, it is something very special. They have a good connection, good chemistry, and it all works. Ground ball hits the right side. Snicko fields it and takes it to the bag himself for the first out here in the third. Top of the order for the Larks and Caden Ashton.
He's having a good night so far. Has already gotten on 2 times tonight, threw a walk and a single, and has put up 2 runs.
Reached the 90th at-bat total on the season yesterday. He's the next Lark that's closest to 100 at-bats on the season. His first pitch found the zone to Caden Ashton. Second pitch drops in. Finds its way into the upper part of the zone as Ashton now down 0-2. Ashton has a good walk to strikeout ratio. We'll see what he can do with the 0-2 count. Ball put in play once again to the right side. This time the second baseman takes him to the grass and Ashton legs it out. That shows you how fast Caden Ashton really is.
And the second baseman had to angle his way towards the grass of the outfield to make the play. So with him drifting back, it was the perfect chance for Ashton to run it out.
Took a high bounce and, yeah, had to play it off in the outfield grass as Ashton will reach first for his 3rd time today. 2 singles and a walk for the star center fielder and future Jayhawk and Caden Ashton. Caleb Duncan now here with 1 out and a runner on first. First pitch hit out of play over near the Cougar bullpen. The 0-1, Duncan will watch it go into the zone. So once again, back-to-back batters here for Peterson find himself in an 0-2 count. Duncan leaves this one off. Is a slight bit of wind tonight at the ballpark. It's at 10 miles per hour at first pitch. I believe it's about 10 or 12 right now. As Ashton on the move to second, Duncan puts this one in play, a pop-up. First baseman Snicko trying to wait for it to come down. Ashton racing back to the bag. He makes the catch, and Ashton just in the nick of time gets back safely. Ashton, who was trying to steal second with 2 strikes, the hit and run was on. Able to get back to first safely, as that will be the 2nd out here in the 3rd.
And honestly, I don't think the first baseman was expecting him to get there that fast. As you saw him make the catch and then look down and kind of almost jogged but then sprinted.
Ashton's just a sneaky little base runner. Has 2 away for Wilbert Espinal. Ashton still over at first. First pitch to Espinal. Drops down to the zone for the first strike of the at-bat. And ironically, the Larks, who are up 10-0, this ball just barely doesn't nick Espinal. Ironically, the Larks are up 10-0. Meanwhile, the BJs, they're up 11-0 against the Dodge City A's. So both top-tier teams tonight on the verge of run ruling 2 of the bottom teams in the conference. 1-1 Espinal ripped into right field and through the hole. A 2-out base knock for Wilbert Espinal as Ashton will stay at second base. Runners at first and second now. Here for the cleanup batter and Will Carpenter.
And Carpenter's already put the ball in play 2 times tonight, which includes a sac fly. So we'll see if he can find the gap here.
As well, a pinch hitter coming to the ball game. Gage Gilchrist will come in for Will Carpenter. So already in the third, we're seeing a pinch hitter as first pitch from Peterson to Gilchrist misses inside. Gilchrist, who appeared in yesterday's ball game, put the ball in play in one at bat, and then worked out a walk in his last plate appearance. Came around to score as well as the next pitch runs inside. Once again, 2-0 count here to the first baseman, Gage Gilchrist. Runs up high. The Larks did get word that the schedule for the NBC has already came out. I do not have the exact schedule for you guys right now, but Frank did tell me today that there are some games already scheduled for the NBC. So 3-0 pitch finds the zone to Gilchrist. 3-1 count. The first, I believe, 3 or 4 games are pool play, and then after that it turns into a bracket-style tournament. As the 3-1 also finds a zone. Full count pitch coming up from Evan Peterson is to Gage Gilchrist. Ashton over at second and Espinal at first. They'll both be on the move. Full count pitch, Gilchrist in the shallow center field. That's down. Off the bench, he gets an RBI single for Gage Gilchrist. How about that? Coming off the bench and driving home a Lark with 2 outs. Larks now lead it by 11.
And still, they're just being patient and letting the game come to them. Gilchrist got up in the count 3-0, and then 2 strikes followed and saw the opportunity and just dropped it over the second baseman.
So Gilchrist now at first, Espinal at third. Runners are at the corners with 2 away for Houston Russell. First pitch to Russell misses up high. As now 6 runs that have come around to score today with 2 outs for the Larks. Some X pitch swung on and missed from Houston. Has gotten on twice today. A walk and air. Came around to score both times. He's gotten a hit in 3 of his last 5 games. We'll see if he can get one here as the 1-1 finds the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the catcher in Houston Russell. This one tries to find it off, but swung on and missed. Strike 3 will end the third. Larks tack on 1 run, though, here in the third. So they extend their lead. 11-0 down here at Larks Park. Kevin Goss has already gone a season high in innings pitch at 3. Looks to double the amount he's gone this year at 4. Coming into this game, his season high was 2 innings pitch. As like we said, coming in this one, he was really just a reliever, but having a great performance tonight has allowed him to possibly double his total in his season high. This one fouled back. You guys saw that ball go right in front of the camera after it bounced off the netting. That's how close it was. We're all good. Actually, might have fixed it. The netting was kind of blowing into us a bit. Now it's not at all. So Ace is happy. We're happy as this one popped up and over the camera and out of play. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Cougars here in the top of the 4th. Max Slavin, the batter. One, two, misses down low and in. Beautiful night for not just baseball, but for other activities around the ballpark. We see out past the dike, got some disc golf going. Fans got the lawn chairs out, sitting on the dike out in center field. Even a man sitting on his bike out in right field. That's got to be uncomfortable. Full count pitch. Kevin Goss and Max Slavin ripped in the left field. This ball carrying, this ball on a drive is going to stay in the ballpark off the wall, as that's going to be a hard hit and loud single. Caleb Dunn gets a round of applause for hustling over and getting that ball in, as that will only be a single for Max Slavin.
And a good play there by Duncan there. He held back a little bit to wait for it to bounce off the wall and just made an incredible throw. So smart baseball IQ there.
As the 3rd time today, the Cougars have gotten the leadoff batter on. So I'll bring up Zeke Minnick here at Slavin over at first. A long single from the right fielder. His first pitch thrown off the netting for a foul ball. Taking another look at the BJ's game. I might just turn it off, honestly, as they're in the bottom of the 3rd, 14-0. The BJ's against the Dodge City A's. As we said, Larks just need to win out to win the title. And by win out, I mean they got to win their next conference game. If they can get a win tonight, I say if, but you never really know. It is baseball. Things do happen. But if they can get a win Monday, if they come away with a win tonight, they would be crowned the RMBL title. Goss misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Zeke Minnick. Evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Minnick, who was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, was thrown out at second on a fielder's choice. The 2-2 swung on and miss. 4th punch out on the day for Kevin Goss in the first out here in the 4th.
And how about the night he's having so far? This is his first official game as a starter, and he has 4 that's now 4 strikeouts, like he said, for him tonight. He enters this game with 5, so he's 1 away from matching his total.
Great start to the night for Kevin Goss. We'll see how far he goes into this one. Be curious to see, as this first pitch fouled off of Houston. Umpire immediately starts walking the ball to the mound to give Houston some time. Double play possibility in effect for Goss. Gage Gilchrist, who came up to bat for Will Carpenter, he is now over at first base. The 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. CJ and Tabor both playing near the second base bag. Lissy playing back over at the third base position. 1-1. Went swinging down low, trying to go fishing at that one, but swung on and missed. The 1-2 from Kevin Goss. Goes off the turf and off the glove of Houston. This gets away from him. As Slavin will advance 90 feet and take over at second base. His count moves to 2-2 here to Carter Olick. Pop up, out of play over above the Cougar dugout. The farthest Cougar to reach base today has been the second base, Athenbos, and now Slavin. See if he can get to third as his next pitch foul back. And the netting, Ace comes to look, not happy. Well, it's kind of out of the way. No, it's back. Let's see if he can fix from his phone. Otherwise, once again, we'll take care of that during the inning break. The 2-2 misses upstairs. Full count pitch coming up here to Carter Oleg. Popped out the second in his last at-bat. It's the first down in the second inning where C.J. Reed had to hustle over and call off Carpenter and Espinal and make a nice running catch, as this will miss outside, ball 4. For the first time today, the Cougars have 2 runners on base. Here it's 1 away. Third baseman, Aiden Linehand now to bat here with 1 out. Double play back into effect.
And Linehand's already put the ball in play tonight, and it was almost a double play because it got Zeke Minnick out at second base, but he was able to make it safely on a fielder's choice play. Big
secondary lead from Slavin over at second, as went chasing at the high fastball was Linehand, as Goss gets ahead 0-1 here against the third baseman. CJ holding the runner on at second, taking a big lead as Slavin. Goss doesn't care though as he throws the next pitch. Misses down and in. Seems like Slavin's trying to get into Goss's head, but it doesn't look like he cares too much.
I mean, the Cougars have got guys on base all night tonight, so it shouldn't bother Goss that much, as long as he just continues to do what he's done all night.
I mean, he's also got an 11-run lead, so, I mean, that run really doesn't matter too much. So, I mean, you can dance all you want over at second, but Goss just, all he's got to do is just throw it down the plate, trying to get some outs, and send us to the bottom part of the 4th. The 1-2. It's down the turf, gets behind Houston, as both runners will advance 90 feet. 2 runners in scoring position, and for the first time today, the Cougars have a runner at third. A ball in play from Linehand would score a run. The 2-2 from Kevin Goss. Misses outside and high. Is one Lark warming up in the bullpen. Right-handed arm.
I think that's Blake Lembeck.
Does look like Blake. This next pitch misses down low, ball 4. That will load the bases for the Cougars here with 1 away. Bases are loaded for Peter Tatzler. Here with 1 out, double play possibility back into effect now with the runner at first. First pitch runs inside to Tassler. This is not the first time Kevin Goss has pitched against the Cougars this year. Pitched against them to start the year off on June 7th when an inning of work gave up 1 earned run and 1 hit. As tonight he had a really solid outing on the mound. This is the first real trouble we've seen him get into as Keith Harper heads to the mound to talk things over. And with this mound visit, we'll send you to a commercial break here on the Larks Network. Even Goss stays in the ball game. That one swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Goss facing off against Peter Tassler. Bases are loaded for the Cougars. Looking to try to battle back in this one. Larks lead it by 11. Scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first, another 5 in the bottom of the second, and then 1 run in the bottom of the third. Next pitch, foul back, and Ace is getting bullied today by these foul. That's the worst one yet. Let's send you up to the press box camera for now. We apologize for all the foul balls today, as this one swung on and missed. Number 5 and number 10 on the year for Kevin Goss. It's a great close-up of how the netting's all tied together. Take a look at it. Beautiful tie. Look at that knot. That's a beautiful knot. 2 away now here in the 4th. Bases are loaded for the 9-hole batter, Dominic Guitze. First pitch misses outside.
And he'll try to drive a runner home, as he's already shown tonight that he can put power on the ball. He had a fly out to center field on a 1-1 count for his first at bat.
Second pitch finds the zone. See if we can get you guys the scoreboard here on the press box camera. There we go. That's better. 1-1 pitch from Kevin Goss. Misses outside. Just needs 1 more out. Force at any bag. Could end the top of the 4th and send us to the bottom part of the inning. Still no runs have come around to score with the bases loaded. This ball hit over to the first base side, but out of play. Two count coming up. Gosser got 2 strikeouts here in this inning alone. This one fouled back. Guitze staying alive. Flew out to center in his first at-bat against Goss. Top of the order on deck, and Ashton Wolf.
And Goss has now thrown 90 pitches in tonight's game.
Ground ball hits the right side. C.J. Reed fields it. A little backhand toss over to first and in time for the final out. Bases get loaded for the Cougars, but no runs come around to score. A good day on the mound for Kevin Goss as we head to the bottom of the 4th in this one. Larks lead it by 11. Thomas Lissy to lead things off. Peterson back to the mound for the Cougars here in the bottom of the 4th. Another thank you to Ace for getting those cameras fixed. As you guys just saw the standings right now, Larks and BJ's both at 20-6 in conference play. The Larks can win out, and the BJ's win out as well. Larks would win. to the tiebreakers as they beat them in head-to-head matchups. They won 3 of 4 games against them. The 0-2 pitch of Lissy misses outside. A big day for Thomas Lissy at the plate.
Yeah, he's picked up a double and a single while getting 2 RBIs, and has put up 2 runs as well.
Battles back to even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This one fouled off. Staying alive is Thomas. He's been an outstanding hitter this year for the Larks. 370 average, 461 on base percentage, an OPS of nearly 1,000. The 2-2 to Lissy, put into play to the right side, second baseman, and Eli Athenboss fields it cleanly for the first out. Here comes the money. That can only mean one thing. Trent Baker to bat here with 1 away in the bottom of the 4th.
And another player that's having an outstanding day at the plate today has picked up 2 RBIs and has put up a run as well, and both of his hits have been triples.
Trent might be our post-game interview, not award, live post-game interview player, and Trent Baker. Only interviewed him once this year after the game, and that was back at, I believe, the first game of the year. This next pitch misses outside. Baker gets ahead 2-0. It's been really picking it up late in the season as he's increased his average by 50 points, all within the last 2 weeks. This one swung on and missed. 2-1 count here to Trent. He's gotten a hit in 6 of his last 7 games. On a 7-game on-base streak, extended that to 8 games after not 1 but 2 triples. Two misses outside. Baker works the count to full. 7 walks on the year for Trent. 22 base hits. The full count pitch. Put in play, this time to the left side. Shortstop and Ashton Wolf fires it over the first, and not in time. The speedy Trent Baker legs it out for a 1-out single. His 3rd hit on the day. Now has 25 hits on the year for the Hayes Larks. They'll bring up the shortstop and the 8th batter in the lineup in Tabor Stokes. First pitch to Stokes misses up high. Stokes was the first batter that Peterson had to face off against back in the 2nd inning. Just needed 1 out. First pitch was hit out to right center field. A good hit from Stokes, but just stayed up long enough for the right fielder and Slavin to track it down. The 1-1 looked like a breaking ball that misses outside. Will be transferring to Hutchinson Community College alongside his Butler teammate and C.J. Reed. Next pitch swung on and missed. All even up now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trent Baker over at first, here with 1 out. We've seen the Larks do this with 2 strikes. They like to do the hit and run, but they will not be on the move as this next pitch fouled back. Count remains 2-2. Two once again misses outside. Stokes works the count to full. Extended his hit streak to 3 games after hitting a home run yesterday. Still looking for a base hit here in this one. The full count pitch to Stokes. Put in a play out to right field. A high fly ball. Right fielder and Slavin has to run in a bit, but gets there in time for the second out. Two away for C.J. Reed, the 9-hole batter. Who's also the 8th Street Liquor batter. Reached base once today, but it was by a walk. Grounded out in his last at-bat. See if he can do what Will Carper did yesterday and get these fans some half-price drinks, as first pitch to Reed misses outside. Will Carpenter, who was the beverage batter yesterday, had 2 base hits, one in the 4th and one in the 6th. The Larks' nest was packed with people. Second pitch swung on and missed by CJ. First strike against him. "12 hits on the year for CJ, alongside 12 walks. This one swung on and missed. CJ looks to protect here with 2 strikes. Baker still over at first, has 4 stolen bases on the year. Let's see if he's on the move with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Middle infield shifted towards the left-handed batter as this one gets past the catcher and will roll away from him behind him as Baker will strike second. Advances on the wild pitch. And now Lark is in scoring position here with 2 away. Two-two, fouled out of play over on the third base side. Reed looks to protect once again. The 2-2 here at 2-way. Baker over at second. This is down low. Good take as Reed works back in the count. Full count pitch coming up. 7 RBIs on the year for the second baseman. Base hit here could bring home Trent Baker from second.
And he's already been faced with a full count tonight.
Hit to the second baseman. One second baseman to another. Underhand toss to first is in time for the last out. Baker gets on with a base hit, but gets stranded at second. So we head to the top of the 5th. Larks lead this one 11-0. With the top of the order due up for the Cougars, the Larks go to the bullpen, and Blake Lembeck, number 24. As I'm not going to lie to you guys, I still forgot to change his player icon at 24. He made this whole season with it being 23. So you know what? We might as well just ride with it. So number 24 and Blake Lembeck to take over here in the top of the 5th. A good outing for Kevin Goss tonight.
Yeah, 4 innings of work, only gave up 1 hit and didn't give up a single run, and matched his season total in strikeouts.
What a play by Caleb Duncan in left field. The first out on the day from Blake Lembeck is a diving catch into left field. An outstanding play from Caleb Duncan. One away for Blake Lembeck now as they'll bring up the second batter in the lineup in Eli Athenbos. Goss, who is the lefty, Lembeck the righty. So it'll change things up for the Cougars.
We'll see what Athenbos does here. He's reached base once tonight through a walk and struck out on his first at-bat on a 2-2 count.
Lembeck, who's become this solid reliever for the Larks this year. In 8 of his appearances on the mound, 6 of those 8 has not allowed an earned run in 6 of 8 appearances this year. Two one. This is up high. Athenbos thought about going for it, but leaves it. So Athenbos had 3-1. You guys saw our awards from last week's play. Another friendly reminder that tomorrow we will be deciding the season award winners. Originally, we were going to take it down to a vote with the coaches and have them have a say in it, but Frank said he trusted us to pick the winners, so the picks we have will come from both Hank and I for this year.
A lot of pressure, honestly.
Yeah, I don't want to be like the MLB writers who get a lot of hate, but hey, it's like I told Frank. I said I love guys that are great defensively and can steal bases while still batting really well. So that might be a little hint on where I'm voting for. But that will be a walk to Eli Athenbos. First base runner gets on base against Blake Lembeck for the Cougars. So I'll bring up Jackson Snicko.
He's put the ball in play one time tonight, and it was a fly out to right field. So we'll see what he does this time around.
First pitch misses outside. Second pitch misses outside as well. Lembeck, who appeared on the road against the BJs, went an inning of work. Had a good performance in the outing before that down on July 13th back here at home. 2 innings of work out of the bullpen, only gave up 2 hits, no earned runs. Walked nobody, and didn't strike out nobody. Opponent batting average of .213 heading into tonight's game with an ERA of 2.63, a whip of 1.17. And this will miss up high, ball 4 back-to-back walks for the Cougars, puts 2 runners on base. So I'll bring up the right fielder and Max Slavin. Cleanup batter here with 2 runners on for the Cougars. It's Keith Harper heading out to the mound to talk things over with Blake Lembeck. And with that, we'll take a short break here on the Larks Network. Back into action. First pitch after the mound trip from Keith Harper finds the zone to Max Slavin. Got to pitch to Slavin carefully here. One of the best hitters on the Cougar team. Is this one foul back? Camera's all good, Ace. That camera tonight is just getting eaten alive. Lembeck gets ahead. 0-2 here against Slavin. Struck out in his first at-bat, but his second at-bat worked out a single. So first base hit on the day for the Cougars. This one foul back once again. It wasn't near the camera, but with the netting being as high as it is, it does kind of shake up a bit. So once again, 0-2 count. Both Larks and the BJs are just running away with their ball games as pump fake throw over to first. Nobody was covering the bag. The first baseman, or the runner at first, gets back safely to first, and Jackson Snicko. Cougars got 2 runners on after back-to-back walks with 1 out. Reed holding the runner on at second. Lembeck taking his time. The next pitch popped up and out of play. Shout out to tonight's game sponsors and Big D's Rent, AII, Commercial Builders Phase 2, and Tommy's Express Car Wash. Next pitch misses down low. All evened up now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lembeck, who's basically top 3 in almost every stat category. Innings pitched, strikeouts, appearances. Tied for first with Aiden Schmigel and most appearances on the year after coming in relief in tonight's game. The 2-2. Misses outside once again. A big lead to throw down to second, but back in time safely as Athenboss took a big secondary lead, but stays at second. Full count pitch now coming up. Crowd gets a nice ovation to the ball boy. Full count pitch finds the zone. Strike 3 for Lembeck. 2 outs now here at the top of the 5th. 26 strikeouts on the year for the right-hander out of New Mexico. As 2 away here for Zeke Minnick.
And the Larks have been doing a great job positioning their pitches so far. I don't believe I've said it yet, but last night it was a little bit more on the outside for the strike zone. Today it's a little bit more low and more on the inside.
Half-hearted swing. He goes around as Lembeck gets ahead against Minnick. The 0-1, good breaking ball, not a bad spot to miss, but laying it off is Minnick. One pops this one up, might stay in play, and it looks like it will. Gilchrist and Russell running for it, and Houston over his head. The glove comes to save him behind his head for the final out. Lembeck leaves the runners at first and second as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Larks lead this one. Top of the order for the Larks here in the bottom of the 5th. They lead this one 11-0. That's for the first time of the day. Back in the bottom of the 4th, the Larks did not score a run. Before that, they'd scored 5 in the bottom of the 1st, 5 in the bottom of the 2nd, and 1 run in the bottom of the 3rd. First pitch to Caden Ashton misses up high. Has reached base every time today. His last 2 at-bats have both been singles. So also came around to score 3 times. This next pitch misses outside. I got to tell you what, talking with some fans here at Larks Park, a lot of them say Larks baseball is just addicting. They said there's no atmosphere like this for a small team or small town like Hayes. Something about Larks baseball is just so addicting, and that's why people just continue to come back.
I mean, it's just mostly the success that the team's had for so long. I mean, thinking back to the crowd last night, I mean, it was rainy outside, but we still had a great crowd in attendance.
This next pitch finds a zone, all even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Caden Ashton. 2-2 swung on, fouled off, staying alive is Caden Ashton. Here's a good question for you. I mean, you've seen the Larks play all the home game stuff. How well do you think they're going to do at the NBC?
I think if they can continue just what they've done, where what we've seen, what they've done in the top half of innings here at Larks Park, where the pitching just comes in and is able to shut the opponent down early on, and then it translates to the bats. I feel like if the Larks do that throughout the entire World Series, they can make a deep run.
I mean, the NBC every year, they always have the best teams around the country all come down the ballpark. I mean, we talked about earlier, there has been some star players that have come to the NBC, as this one's called strike 3. That was ball 4, but they're going to say strike 3, so that'll be the first out here in the 5th. One out. Caleb Duncan out of bat here with nobody on. First or second strikeout on the day for Peterson. First pitch misses outside to Caleb. Pitching from the Foley with nobody on. Second pitch hit in play and through the hole between the third baseman and shortstop for a base hit for Caleb Duncan. 29 base hits on the year now for Caleb Duncan. So that'll bring us to the other outfielder, this time the right fielder, and Wilbert Espinal.
Espinal having a good night so far after walking and scoring a run in the first inning. He had the sac fly to left field in the second inning for his 1 RBI, and had a base hit in the third inning as well.
At this rate, this game could possibly be over in 7 innings, as the Larks do lead it by 11. The run rule would come into effect. This ball fouled off of Espinal. So umpire will call time, waste some time for Espinal to catch up. I don't think Keevan's going to be too happy, but I think I'm going to have to interview him for the post-game interview. A lot of the Larks, I'll give you guys a little secret. A lot of the Larks players get very nervous when it's time to do the interview at the end of the game. There's a couple of guys, I won't say who, there's a couple of guys that are like, if I do good, just don't interview me. I don't care. I'm like, no, the Larks fans want to hear from you. But they do love doing it. They really do love Larks baseball. Having to go on bus rides with them, and they've talked about how a lot of other teams they played for, nobody really comes to the game. It's about 3 families worth of people at their college games. And he says, Larks Park, it's insane how you come here. And there's just an enormous amount of people watching just summer college baseball.
Yeah, to back it up a little bit, I'm honestly surprised that they get nervous about the post-game interviews, because they give really short answers, and there's always a few people or a lot of people in the crowd that'll cheer for it.
I mean, it's like Ken Winholt says. I mean, he says the Larks players, they could just say the ABC and everyone would still clap for them. Everyone loves the Larks players. 2-2 pitch here to Wilbert Espinal. Swung on and fouled into the catcher's glove for strike 3. 2 strikeouts here in the 5th for Evan Peterson. For the second time today, Gage Gilchrist will make his second at bat.
First baseman, number 21, Gage Gilchrist.
Gage Gilchrist, who came in to pinch hit for Will Carpenter in the 3rd inning, had a big 2-out RBI single to drive home Caden Ashton. That was the only run that came around to score in the 3rd. His first pitch of Gilchrist misses outside.
Backing up to you saying that you want to interview Keevan Goss after the game. Crystal Goss in the comment section. I think she's getting a little excited. She might, as you said, she'll get to hear his interview this time.
He's just reading it as you said it. That's pretty funny. We did interview him once earlier in the season. I just remember asking, I was like, Keevan, it's your turn. And he just shook his head. He goes, no. Larks players are all fun to hang out with and talk to. As this pitch runs inside, Gilchrist just broke the plane. So that'll be a 2-2 count now here to the first baseman, Gage Gilchrist. Two misses down low. Very similar to the last pitch as Gilchrist will watch this one come in and move the count to full. Full count, 2 away. Caleb Duncan over at first. He'll be on the move. So the infield takes a step back, ready for the full count pitch. Stepping off the mound, though, is Peterson. Nobody covering first, so Duncan didn't have to worry too much. Full count pitch. Finds the zone at the knees. Strike 3. 3 strikeouts here in the 5th for Peterson. 2 of them caught looking as they'll send us to the 6th inning. Larks lead it 11-0. Blake Lembeck back to the mound here in the top of the 6th. Larks lead it 11-0. No one comes around to score in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch here to Carter Olick, fouled off the end of the bat. Taking a look around the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Game Day Angels came away with a 6-3 victory against the Colorado Rough Riders yesterday. Pioneers get their 28th victory overall in the year against the Fort Collins Foxes on the road, 12-11 the final score. This is a deep drive, but this ball will go way foul. And then the Larks, of course, winning yesterday 9-4. Taking a look at other teams in the RMBL, the Western Nebraska Pioneers have almost played more non-conference games than they did conference games. 28-15 overall, 12-13 in conference play, and they're 16-2. 16-2 in non-conference games. As caught looking strike three is Carter Olek. Second punch out on the day for Blake Lembeck. One out for Aiden Linehan here with nobody on after a strikeout to Carter Olek. First pitch to Linehan runs up and in. Second pitch, hit hard but foul over on the third base side.
Trying to put some power behind it and keep the Cougars in this game because Linehan, he's gotten on base 2 times tonight through a walk and a fielder's choice in the second inning.
Yeah, the Cougars, they're going to need 2 more runs to keep this game going after 7 as this one swung on and missed. Looked like the slider from Lembeck. 1-2 count now. Lembeck, who struck out the last batter looking, looks for another K here. And he will get another one. Strikeout, caught looking, this time to Aiden Linehan. Back-to-back Ks for Lembeck here in the 6th. "28 strikeouts on the season. Over 25 2/3 innings pitched. First pitch slider here to Peter Tassler, misses outside. Tassler, who's a strikeout victim to Kevin Goss back in the 4th. This ball hit hard, but once again over the third base side and off of the Larks dugout. Cougars have gotten 2 base hits in tonight's game. Larks have gotten 10. 1-1 breaking ball, misses outside. Put the ball in play in his first at-bat is Peter Tassler, but he popped out to the second baseman. The 4th pitch runs inside. Tassler had 3-1 against Lembeck. One pop back and foul. Lembeck bows it back up. Full count pitch coming up here with nobody on. Back-to-back Ks for Lembeck to start the 6th.
It's the 3rd batter tonight he's gotten to a full count. First one was a walk, the other one was a strikeout. We'll see what this one is.
Pitching from the stretch with nobody on. The full count pitch just misses the outside corner. A 2-out walk for the Cougars here in the 6th. So they'll bring us the 9-hole batter and Dominic Guitze.
And he'll come up to the plate looking to find the gap as he's put the ball in play twice tonight. Had a fly out to center field with Caden Ashton and then grounded out on a 4-3 play in the 4th inning.
Guitze looks down at the third base coach and Mark Cirilla looking for the sign. Mark, who's also the president of the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Vice president of the Rocky Mountain Baseball League is actually head coach of the Larks, Frank Leo. Big shout out to our ball boy for tonight. It's had a busy night. Lots of foul balls here in this one. Lembeck gets ahead against Guitze after the foul ball. Second pitch misses upstairs near the eyes of the center fielder for the Cougars. Tomorrow night, the Larks will play against the Cougars in a non-conference game. Start time for that one, 6 o'clock. They'll also play Monday. That'll be against the Dodge City A's in the last game of the season. Conference game Another must-win game if the Larks want to pull away with the Rocky Mountain Baseball League title. Next pitch popped up and out of play. Two balls and two strikes now. Tassler over at first. Worked out a 2-out walk after back-to-back Ks from Lembeck. The 2-2 finds the zone. Strike three. 3 strikeouts in the 6. All of them caught looking for Blake Lembeck. As they'll send us to the bottom of the 6th. Larks look to get a few more. We're heading to the 7th where they'll just need 3 outs to win it. Houston Russell to lead things off. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Larks here in the bottom of the 6th. Larks just looking to tack on a few more before they head into the 7th inning. They look to get 3 outs to pull away with the run rule victory. Next pitch to Houston, swung on and miss. Evan Peterson back to the mound. Came in during the bottom of the 2nd with 2 outs. Has been the game ever since.
You got to give him a lot of credit coming in to the situation that he did, where Caleb Waltz gave up 10 runs, and then since then he's came in and only given up 5 hits and 1 run.
And not a bad outing at all for the right-handed arm at Evan Peterson, as this one runs up and in. 3 balls and 1 strike here to Houston Russell. He's reached base twice today. 3-1, misses outside. 2nd walk on the day for Houston Russell. It's the leadoff runner for the Larks here in the 6th. So they'll bring up Thomas Lissy. He's put the ball in play in every at-bat today and has found the hole twice.
He's picked up a double and a single and has 2 runs and also 2 RBIs on the night.
Last game, he reached the 30-hit total mark on the year and has continued to add to it. This ball will be another base hit. No. Called a foul ball. Thought that one landed fair, but it'll be ruled a foul ball. So let's see, we'll head back to the batter's box. Hard line drive from Lissy as Peter Tassler talking things over with Evan Peterson. Trying to figure out where they need to pitch Lissy here. Seems like in a lot of Lissy's at-bats, they've been trying to pitch him inside, but feels like he just gets a hold of those inside pitches. No one. Misses up high. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Thomas Lissy. Thomas, who is always the first man to the ballpark. Always the first one here, 3 to 4 hours before first pitch. He's always taking cuts to the batting cage. So he'll send a high fly ball out to deep right center field. And this ball is going to get out of here. Thomas Lissy leaves the yard. His 3rd home run on the season. The Larks tack on 2 more here at the bottom of the 6th. 4 RBI night for Thomas Lissy, 20 RBIs on the year. Stay hot, Thomas Lissy. 2 home runs in his last week of play. Still no outs in the bottom of the 6th. Nobody on base now for Trent Baker.
How about the day he's having so far? 2 triples and a single where he's gotten a run and 2 RBIs along with it.
Thomas just made it even more difficult for me, as originally I was going to do Trent with 2 triples. But I believe we talked to Thomas Lissy twice this year for the player interview, so we'll probably still do Trent. Although 4 RBI performance for Lissy still would make him player of the game. So 1-1 misses outside. I mean, what's hard to do? Get 1 home run or 2 triples in the game? That's the real question.
Honestly, I'd say 2 triples because the Larks only had 5 coming into this game, and now that makes Baker the leader in that category.
And with that, I'll confirm it. We'll do Trent Baker for the post-game interview. 3-1 count here to Trent. A 3-hit night for the star outfielder, but tonight the DH. Already extended his on-base streak to 8 games after a solid performance, as this one swung on and missed. Full count pitch coming up here to Trent. Called strike 3, just caught the outside part of the plate. So that will be the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Bring up the Larks shortstop in Tabor Stokes. Here it's still nobody on and 1 out. Stokes with a couple of fly balls out to right field in his last 2 at-bats. The first one he hit out to right field nearly got down the alleyway, but Max Slavin able to track it down. So 1-1 gets past the catcher and goes all the way to the backstop. Stokes gets ahead 2-1. A .292 average on the year for Tabor. Has played in all conference games this year. Been the star shortstop, as this one misses up high. Coming off last year, the Larks, if they had any problems on last year's team, it was really trying to find that shortstop. And this year, there was no doubt Tabor Stokes was going to be the shortstop from day 1. 3-1 pitch finds the zone. Full count once again, this time to Tabor Stokes. Stokes will pop this one up. Pitcher points it out. First baseman hustling in. He'll try to make a running catch. Goes off the glove in fair territory, as that is ruled a fair ball, and Trent Baker will reach base on the E3. Or correction, Tabor Stokes will reach base on the E3. Bring up the 8th Street Liquor batter and C.J. Reed.
We'll see if Reed can get the Larks fans their discounted drinks. He's already put the ball in play 2 times tonight. See if he can find the gap here as we approach what could be the final inning next inning.
Yeah, now the Cougars will need 4 runs to continue this ball game on. They've only gotten 2 hits up to this point, so they're gonna need a big inning to continue this ball game. 1-0 misses down in the turf. Tabor stays at first. Has 7 stolen bases, both the Larks being up 13-0. Not sure if we'll see him on the move. CJ extended his on-base streak to 5 games after a walk in the 2nd inning. His next pitch finds the zone for the first strike of the at-bat. 2-1 count. Here's to the second baseman, C.J. Reed. Had a big game against Liberal on July 17th on the road. 2 for 4. Came around to score twice and drove in 2 RBIs. Next one runs in. 3-1 count. Double play possibility in effect for the Cougars. Second baseman playing away from the bag. Shortstop and Ashton Wolf playing near the second base bag. This will miss up high, ball 4. Back-to-back batters for the Larks reach base, 1 by an error and 1 by a walk. Which will bring us back to the top of the order for the 5th time today in Caden Ashton. Mark Zerlo will head out to the mound, and this could be the end of the day for Evan Peterson, as we'll take a short break here on the Larks Network. A lot of changes in the infield and actually one in the outfield as well. New pitcher into the ball game. The third baseman, Ada Linehand, will take over on the mound. Matthew Sapikoff will go out to left field. And then Eli Athenbos will slot over to third base. Wolf is still at short. The second baseman unsure at the moment. As Ashton will throw this one out to left center field. A high fly ball deep into the alleyway. Center field makes the catch. Tag is Tabor Stokes. The throw in goes over the cutoff's head. So tagging on the fly ball is Tabor Stokes, as now he's in scoring position with 2 away. Two outs now for Caleb Duncan. Runners are at the corners. Larks just trying to tack on a few more. Do you happen to get a number on the second baseman by any chance?
Oh, it's number 8, Carter Olek.
Carter Olek, awesome. So it looks like Olek, who was in left field, goes to second. And then Sapikov comes off the bench, moves to left field. 1-0 count here to Caleb Duncan. Force at first and second for the Cougars. Second pitch misses outside. Duncan gets ahead 2-0 against Aiden Linehan. 2-0, hit off the Larks dugout. Duncan with a single in his last at-bat. Snuck through the left side. And this one goes off of the diving third baseman's glove. Picks it up, tries to go first, but no throw. Base hit for Caleb Duncan and an RBI. His 20th RBI on the season. So Larks tack on another. 14-0 the score. He's coming home to score is Tabor Stokes for his 23rd time this year. If Rihanna is playing, that can only mean one thing. Wilbert Espinal to bat. Here with 2 away. I asked the guys, I said, does Garrett Gruel, since he's the older guy, does he get to choose the freshman's walk-up songs? As this ball is hit down the right field line and fair. Another base hit for Espinal. Coming around to score is C.J. Reed. An RBI double for Wilbert Espinal. The Larks have scored 4 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Espinal's 21st RBI on the year. Duncan will take over at third, and Espinal to second after the RBI double. Bringing up Gage Gilchrist. As I was saying before that, I asked them, does Garrett Grill get to choose the new guys or freshman players' walk-up songs? And they actually said no. So a lot of the girly songs you hear, like the pop artists, like Rihanna and that stuff, that's all the players. They actually love that stuff. I do too. I'm not hating against it at all. Some great walk-up songs this year. Gage Gilchrist, 0-1 count. This one fouled back. Gilchrist now down 0-2. Almost batted around. It's the third time today the Larks have scored 4 runs or more. Gilchrist to the right side and into the Cougars' dugout. Espinal at second, Duncan over at third. The 0-2 once again, swung on and miss, as that will be the final out in the 6th. A 2-run home run for Thomas Lissy, an RBI single from Caleb Duncan, and an RBI double from Wilbert Espinal. Puts 4 on the board for the Larks as we head to the 7th. The Larks need 3 outs to win it here at home. 3 outs to go in this one. We had some people sing, what's the song called? I'm forgetting off the top.
God Bless America.
God Bless America. We had some people sing it. Fortunately, our audio wasn't going through, so we just did the normal 3 outs to go graphic for you guys. As Lembeck back to the mound here in the 7th, needing 3 outs to win it. So face off against the top of the order for the Cougars and Ashton Wolf, Eli Athenboss, and Jackson Snicko. This pitch runs inside to Wolf. 2 balls and 1 strike. Next pitch popped up, just sneaks over the fence and into the stands. Might have clipped the press box, actually.
With the door in the way, it's hard to tell where it hit.
We'll say number 5. Number 5 on the air for the press box getting hit. 2-2 pitch from Lembeck to Wolf. Breaking ball falls back in. Strike 3. All strikeouts tonight for Lembeck have been caught looking.
And that's now strikeout number 30 for him, since that's his 5th tonight.
It's another Lark into the 30 strikeout category. It's 1 away here for Eli Athenboss after the first batter struck out looking to Lembeck. The 1-0 finds the zone for the first strike here in the at-bat to Athenboss. The next pitch was fouled off. Lembeck ahead 1-2. The 1-2 misses up high and outside. All evened up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larks defense playing back. Need 2 outs to win it. The 2-2 breaking ball falls into the zone. Another one. Caught looking, strike 3. 6 punch outs for Lembeck. All of them caught looking. That's 1 out away from winning it. Man, this is making it really difficult. Kevin Goss or Blake Lembeck. I know we did say Kevin Goss, but man, Lembeck, all strikeouts caught looking. We'll stick with Kevin Goss. Maybe we'll do a double player interview with the pitcher. We'll see what happens when we get down there. His first pitch here to Jackson Snicko finds the zone. I think we'll do that. We'll do 1 question for both of them. That way we make everyone happy tonight. Next one swung on and missed. Lembeck ahead, 0-2. Get on your feet at home, Larks fans. 1 strike and 1 out away from winning it. The 0-2 from Lembeck. Breaking ball. Leaving it off is Snicko. The 1-2 once again misses down low. All evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larks looking to get their 21st conference victory and their 26th victory overall. 1 strike and 1 out away. Once again, the 2-2 finds the zone. Strike 3. All 7 punch outs caught looking, and that will wrap it up here in game 2.
So that's win number 26 on the year for the Larks, and improves their record in RMBL play to 21-6. So still tied with Liberal in the standings, but they do hold the tiebreaker. So if they can get a win over Dodge City on Monday, they will be the RMBL champs. But let's look back at tonight's game. What a night tonight for the Larks. A little different than last night, where the Larks started to pick it up midway through the game. Today they came out all guns blazing in the first 2 innings. So let's take a look back at those. Caden Ashton and Wilbert Espinal in the first inning both got on through walks and would be driven home from a Will Carpenter sac fly. And Thomas Lissy would get a 2 RBI double later on to bring Espinal and Houston Russell home. And Trent Baker started off a big day for him with his first triple of the game to bring in the final few runs of that inning. And then going into the second inning, where the Larks also would put up another 5 innings, starting with C.J. Reed getting a walk and Caden Ashton hitting a single. They would get home from Houston Russell getting 2 RBIs on an E3 play, and Thomas Lissy getting another RBI through a single. And Trent Baker came in once again and got another triple on the night. And then after that, the Larks were able to maintain the lead throughout and just never looked back. As we now we'll take a look over at the pitching. Great night from them tonight, especially with Kevin Goss getting the start tonight for his first official start of the year, going 4 innings, giving up 1 hit, but no runs allowed and 5 strikeouts on 91 pitches. And Blake Lembeck, a huge night for him as he records a total of 7 strikeouts. And we're going to throw it down to the field now for Nick Helgett with our post-game interview with Trent Baker, Kevin Goss, and Blake Lembeck.
Again, we had a lot of standout performances tonight. Kevin, starting on the mound tonight, what is your go-to pitch? What's your favorite and why?
We kind of just went with the fastball tonight, and it worked the whole night, so, I mean.
Awesome. And that's it for you, Keith. Blake, 7 punch-outs, all caught looking. What pitch were you throwing that was catching them off guard?
I don't think it was one pitch. We were just mixing it up well and keeping them off balance. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Blake. Trent, 2 triples tonight. 3 hits total, but 2 triples. Trent, are you the fastest on the team?
Without a doubt.
And this is your second year with the Larks. What would you say is the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team?
I don't know. These guys are just a bunch of goofballs, and it's fun to come out here and play with them, and especially in front of the host fams. All of them out here tonight. Love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Trent. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
So that was our post-game player interview with Trent Baker, Kevin Goss, and Blake Lembeck. And when Nick makes his way back up here, we will have our post-game show as we will talk about the Larks' 15-0 win. Again, they get their 26th win on the year and 21st win in RMBL play. So we'll be back in a moment on the Larks Network.
The Larks pull away with a 7-inning win over the Denver Cougars, 15-0. Your final score here at Larks Park. The Larks dominated early on and just really ran away with it.
Yeah, I said it as you were making your way down to the field for the interview, but it was different than last night. I mean, we saw the Cougars kind of slow down the Larks early on in last night's game. Tonight, Larks just came out all guns blazing, put out 10 runs in the first 2 innings, and they were able to also take advantage of the Cougars' mistakes, as the Larks only had 5 hits in those first 2 innings, and really from that point on, there was just no looking back.
Who would you say your standout player was tonight? I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, Trent Baker made a great impact, getting 2 RBIs and getting 2 triples, making him the leader in that category now this season with 3. But let's focus on Thomas Lissy real fast, getting a double and a single and the home run as well. So three runs for him on the day, and then adding 4 RBIs with it. But also Blake Lembeck on the pitching side of things, 3 innings, getting 7 strikeouts on just 56 pitches. That can't go unnoticed.
The craziest part about it is they were all caught looking. I mean, I'm not saying it's rare, but you see more strikeout swinging than you do looking. I mean, he said he was just changing everything up tonight when he was throwing the ball. I don't know if the audio did go through for the post-game interview.
It did.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, so you guys all heard it. I mean, he was changing things up, and everything was going really well for him. But this win is big. Tomorrow they get a non-conference game. They're obviously going to try to win. But tomorrow's game don't really mean too much. But Monday, what are they going to have in store?
I mean, really the Larks just got to go in there with the mindset that they have all season. Just focus on the task at hand. I've said it before in this series, but the Larks control their own destiny now. They just got to do what they've done all season and see what happens after that.
It makes you wonder if Dodge City, we were watching the game off and on, it was 14 or 15-0 at one point for their game. It almost makes you wonder if Dodge City isn't saving their best arm for us. That makes me interested, especially because Dodge City A's, they had a couple guys that could shut down the Larks. So that's going to be really interesting going into Monday's game. But tomorrow's Sunday night game against the Denver Cougars to finish off the series. Final score, 15-0 here at Larks Park here for Game 2. Start time tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Thank you all so much, and ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.